Hi, this is Corey from Blind to Billionaire. Please join me on the Kilimanjaro Safari at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Thank you and enjoy the ride.
At any time, please be seated at all times. If you have a small child must vote. And one of the first animals we're seeing, which are normally very reclusive, the greater kudu there, the kind of brownish gray on the left-hand side, and then the bongo, the darker brown animal there with white stripes. The bongo is called the ghost of the forest, so this is a very wonderful sighting. And there's a young one. That little calf is about 4 or 5 months old. As I said, nicknamed the ghost of the forest because they're very rarely seen. So that was kind of on our right-hand side. More bongo. I hope you're enjoying this sighting because according to the experts, the bongo is about to become the ghost of the world in the wild. They're expecting that animal to be extinct due to poaching and illegal. All 3,000 pounds of that animal. We just saw 2 of only possibly 4,000 remaining in the entire world. The hippopotamus is one of them on the right-hand side. All 5,000 pounds of this animal. Doesn't like to be startled or surprised. It's very aggressive. Has been known to come up on shore totally enraged and can run at 35 miles an hour. And our truck, unfortunately, only does 8 miles an hour. And we have what is called a bloated hippo on the left-hand side. Not a gathering, not a herd, but a bloat. They can remain submerged for 8 to 10 minutes. And even though they're superb swimmers, they would prefer to run on the bottom of the river, storing up morsels to eat. Left hand, that's the pink-backed pelican. Only has a wingspan of 6 to 8 feet. And its back does indeed turn pink during the mating season. Now, unusual, thin-barked. They're in the shadows in the grass. And farther back is what the Africans call the wild beast. Way in the background, that's the wildebeest. And then the small antelope deer on the right-hand side, that is springbok. Second fastest animal in the entire world. When being pursued by a predator, can achieve a speed of almost 50 miles an hour. Maasai giraffe on our right-hand side. The tallest animal in the world. But these are 2 youngsters. I think these are the brothers. They're only 1.5 years old. Still youngsters. You can tell they're Maasai by their jagged, irregular markings. On the left-hand side, the most efficient, most successful nocturnal hunter in the entire world. This is the African painted wild dog. Of all the successful hunts that occur at night on the continent of Africa, the wild dog makes 90% of those, outclassing all the large cats here on the continent. But it is very family-oriented, or pack-oriented, if you will. It will bring its lifeless prey back to its pack to feed the old and the young first. Another giraffe on the left-hand side. Oh my goodness. Giraffe on the right. The tallest animal in the world. At 20 feet high.
You better get out of my way.
I'm trying to take a picture,
I was trying to climb over you.
That's another young calf of about 1.5 years old. Springbok to the far right. High at the shoulder. So they can get at mom's nourishment. He's born about 2 months ago there in the palm grove. A 2-month-old miniature giraffe, as I say, because in every aspect, proportionally, that little one, that little dainty lady, looks exactly like mom, except smaller. She's very petite. She was only born 5 feet at the shoulder, which is very unusual. They're with mom. And Ankoli cattle there. Those are the animals back there with the huge horns. Ankole cattle are bred and raised by the Watusi and Maasai tribes, but not for their milk or their meat, but as a sign of wealth and prestige. The more cattle you own, the wealthier and higher in status you are. There they are, Ankole cattle on them. And we can get a better look at the little giraffe, the little lady back there. Now those huge horns on the Ankole cattle are actually hollow, but on the inside of the outer shell are thousands and thousands of blood veins, so that when the animal heats its blood, the blood goes through those horns and cools the animal down like natural radiators. I was just about to say this tree was pushed down by a very large animal, African elephant on the right-hand side, a massive bull elephant. The males will grow at full maturity to 12 to 14,000 pounds.
Wow.
And this one looks very mature. Now the males, both here in the reserve and in the wild, male elephants, will stay all by themselves. And there's little mandrill monkeys standing there just in front of the fallen tree. Mandrill monkeys. As we, not getting a very good profile here of that elephant, looks more oriented. It's ruled by the matriarch, and what she says is law. So much so that when the male elephant reached the age of adolescence, it was exiled from the herd, doomed to a life of bachelorhood. However, the males will stay close in the hopes of getting an invitation to come back, or the alarm is giving out that the herd is in danger and come to its rescue. Now, I talked to the warden yesterday and said this bridge was good to go. Oh, everybody, hang on, everybody, hang on. Oh my gosh. Well, at least we didn't go all the way over. I guess he's still using that heavy-duty duct tape and baling wire. Luckily for us. So let's go find elephant. Right-hand side's a good sign. You can see the elephant had been gouging at the red clay. They consume it. Oh, elephant, way off. Oh, elephant, your left-hand side. I think we may have found the main herd. But getting back to the red clay, they'll consume it as a mineral supplement to their diet, just like us taking our vitamins. Now the herd will consist of 90 to 95%. Oh, a baby. Can everybody see her through? Over the rise, left-hand side, a baby elephant. There on the left. Just through the foliage. I don't know if we'll get a better look. Let's see if we're going to round the corner to the left and see if we can find a better spot to take a picture. Foot, there she is. You can see this huge baobab to the left. You can see where the elephant have actually been gouging at the bark to get at the water inside, all 15,000 or so gallons, in order to survive severe droughts. Inside Greater Flamingo Island. I think one of the more beautiful birds in the world, the flamingo. The coloration comes from a substance called beta-carotene, which makes up their sole source of food, brine shrimp. And as we go by, you're seeing some of them standing on one leg. That's called nesting. They're actually sleeping. The Africans pointed again and said "vright." Translates into wide, flat-lipped animal. Has nothing to do with color. So the historians are still scratching their heads trying to figure out who changed that first journal from "vright" to "white." But it's your choice. Now if you help me look to the left as we turn to the right, there's an animal path. But sometimes in just cat, and there he is doing what he does best, just by the bush back there. The African male line, doing what he does best, sleeping 16 to 22 hours a day. And the lioness there, very much awake. The lionesses are the ones that do all the work. They go on nocturnal hunt while the male lion stays at home and watches the pride and protects the territory. Their eyesight, being nocturnal hunters, during the day is something similar to ours, but at night it's 6 times greater. And this male probably weighs about 550 pounds. And to the right, more bright and black-nosed zebra. Black-nosed zebra has another animal that, according to its color, has been the point of arguments and sometimes confrontations. But just recently, maybe a year ago or so, the experts finally proclaimed that that black-nosed savanna zebra, remember the species, is actually a black animal with white stripes. Warthogs. They look like log. There's one. That's a log. There. See the one moving. That's not a log. Very curious-looking animals with huge tusks. First cousin to the domestic pig. And you see these openings, these burrows that they carve out with those tusks. They actually back into that burrow with the tusk on the outside at night, kind of like a hotel do not disturb sign. More right-hand side. Now, as we take a look at the profile of this animal, has anybody ever seen the profile of a racehorse at full gallop? All 4 hooves are off the ground. Can you imagine this 5,000-pound animal at full stride, about 30 miles an hour? All 4 feet are off the ground. Ostrich eggs on the right-hand side on the ground. All 3 pounds apiece. Self-incubating in the sun, they don't need to be tended to. And are very rarely damaged out in the open like that because their eggshells can withstand weights of almost 200 pounds without cracking. Ostrich on the right-hand side. The largest and fastest bird in the world. And yet its wings never kept growing with the size of its body and is totally flightless. So we're going to leave the Serengeti Savannah. We're going to go into a much...
Thank you everyone for watching. If you would like to subscribe or put comments on the bottom, I will answer them. If you have any questions, if you like the video, go ahead and like it. But otherwise, thank you for watching and have a great day.